The UCI will now pay you for information on motor doping. So apparently, senior figures at the UCI are deeply concerned that mechanical doping may be happening under the radar, and they want to know everything that they can about new, innovative, and hard-to-detect technology that may be used to cheat. They've launched a scheme. It's called Fight Against Technological Fraud Rewards. That is such a bad name, isn't it? Fight Against Technological Fraud Rewards Program.
Yep.
The FATFRP.
FATRP.
The FATRP.
And its aim is to incentivize whistleblowers who might otherwise be reluctant to come forward. They've said that they'll pay for credible information that could lead to the detection of motors, and that they'll investigate both current and historic cases. Currently, only one rider has ever been officially caught motor doping, and that's Belgium cyclocross rider Femke van der Driesch, who was caught with a secret motor on her spare bike at the Cyclocross World Champs in 2016, which was also on the day that testing for electric devices began. No one's been caught since, but the UCI's president has vowed that he's not afraid to catch one of the top riders in the world if necessary. That's quite a bold statement, that, isn't it? That's almost implying that there is stuff going on.
No, I think it's just... I think they're trying to put an onus on mechanical doping in the same way that they do... what's the other type? Biological doping.
Yeah. Well, they're taking it seriously.
Yes,
that's what they're
exactly.
Push.
They've said people with information can report it to UCI's confidential Speak Up platform or by emailing techfraud@uci.ch.
You know, Nick, the mechanic, Nick.
Yes.
You know him.
Yes.
He phoned me very excited the other day, claiming that he's found the place where we could get one of these motor doping items. Specifically one which is a Shimano crank. Could be fitted to any Shimano crank, or maybe it is a Shimano crank. I'm not sure.
Not an official one.
He was very excited, and then he said, let's do it for a Cade Media video. And then I asked him how much it would cost, and then he told me the price, and I went, we might have to just use our own money for this.
We've had a conversation about this before.
Because
this is the one that I'm assuming the one that he's found is the one that I found and is actually really easy to find online. And the company went bankrupt something like 4 or 5 years ago. But you can still get the motors from some people that bought them, and they're about 5 or 6 grand.
Okay, this was less than that. This was about 3.
Maybe it was that then.
So I've been listening to the Ghost in the Machine podcast, and I think it might be the same. He looks at a company as well that said he's gone bust as well.
There's basically one that you can find on the internet that is like so discreet.
Right.
It's
get it.
It literally clips onto the crank on it's like an axle thing on the crank arm, but like in the frame, and it's a beautiful piece of engineering.
Listen, if everyone can find sort of 300 to 500,000 of their closest friends and make sure they watch the video, then we might be able to recover most of the cost of buying this thing. That was just a joke. I don't know how much money it is.
What do you reckon the battery life is on a device like this? Because if it's small and discreet, the size of the batteries that we have here that last 2 to 3 hours on a normal bike ride and it's like an e-bike, isn't it? 250 watts of drainage from the battery. So
it has loads of information on the website for it. I don't know what it is off the top of my head because it was like 3-4 months ago that we talked about it. But it's like it's I can't remember what it is, but it's like basically a hit of juice rather than something that just runs all the time. It's the kind of thing that you go, right, I'm on the last climb that I need to like do really well on. So you get yourself kind of like 5 minutes of 50 watts or something like that.
And I'm assuming it's got to be, well, ideally for the athlete's sake, it's not an item that causes any drag during no lost watts during the race. And then when you kick it in at the end, it gives you enough of a boost to be significant. I want to try one.
I think we have to try one. Just for experimental purposes. I think there'll be so many people that are interested in seeing what it is, what it does.
There was a guy that got in touch with us. I think he might have like a bike shop or just kind of like his own setup in America somewhere. And he fits these motors to bikes for people that basically just want, like, not for cheating, for
an e-bike conversion.
You know, they own a really nice road bike and they just want to convert it. You know, like we've looked at some e-bike conversion kits, but they're ugly compared to just the bike. So if it can just be the bike, then that's pretty cool. So it does feel like we need to do some digging on this a bit more, doesn't it? I hate to say it, but we might have to buy one. I really don't want us to have to spend 3-4 grand on a thing just for us to like make a video and go, well, that wasn't worth the money.
We can always sell it afterwards. We can sell it to Nick.
I don't think you can. And the reason I know you can't is the company went bust years ago, and clearly there's someone which is still sitting on stock that they bought all of those years ago trying to shift it on.
Do you think? I feel like they'd be popular. It would be hard to get one.
I guess the other thing to ask is, do you think that this will have an impact?
Do they have this for biological doping already? Is there a system where they ask you to dob in your teammates?
There is a reporting.
defo.
There's a reporting system. So that Speak Up platform has always been there, and you've always been able to report stuff. I don't know whether there has been a money incentive before. We should do a collab with Ghost in the Machine podcast. It's really good if you're interested in mechanical doping. So people recommended it to me, and I've listened, and it's very good.